All right, so you've got this research paper, hot off the press, Transformer Squared, Self-Adaptive LLMs by Sakana AI,
Hmm.
and it's making some waves,
Definitely causing a stir.
especially for you, angel investors out there.
Yeah.
So we're going to cut to the chase. What's the most valuable tech in this paper, and how can how can it be applied in the real world?
Well, I think the real gem here, the thing that really shines, is singular value fine-tuning, or SVF for
Okay, SVF.
yeah. Think of it as like a secret weapon for making LLMs incredibly adaptable and efficient.
Okay, so break it down for me. Why should an investor, why should they care about SVF?
So right now, fine-tuning LLMs for specific tasks, it's like rebuilding an entire car just to change the tires,
Okay.
right? It's a resource-intensive nightmare. But with SVF, you're basically, instead of overhauling the entire engine, you're swapping out a few key components. And what this means is, for a startup, they could potentially develop a specialized LLM with a fraction of the data and the computing power. So you're talking about significantly reducing that burn rate.
Okay, so faster development, lower costs. I'm starting to see the appeal here. But how does this translate to real-world applications? Like, give me an example.
Okay, so let's say you've got a financial firm. They're using an LLM to analyze market trends. Currently, they would need to retrain the entire model for each new type of analysis, right? With SVF, they could create specialized, we can call them expert modules, for things like predicting stock prices or maybe assessing risk, and plug them into the main LLM as needed.
Gotcha.
So it's like having like a team of AI specialists on speed dial ready to tackle any financial problem you throw at them.
Okay, so instead of one giant clunky LLM, you have like a core model that can adapt on the fly using these smaller specialized modules.
Exactly.
That's pretty clever.
And the paper even shows that these SVF-trained expert modules, they can be combined, right, to handle completely new tasks without any further training.
Oh, well.
And they call this Transformer Squared, or Transformer.
Okay. I'm intrigued, but let's be realistic.
Hmm.
How well does this actually work? The research paper is one thing, but can this deliver in the real world where, data is messy and unpredictable?
So the researchers, they tested Transformer on a whole range of benchmarks. I mean, we're talking solving complex math problems all the way to generating code, and it consistently outperformed traditional fine-tuning methods,
Okay.
like across the board.
Wow.
And in some cases, it even boosted performance by almost 40%.
40%, that's a significant jump.
Yeah.
What does that kind of performance gain mean? Like in a practical sense?
Well, think about customer service chatbots. So with Transformer, a company could develop a base chatbot and then use SVF to quickly create expert modules for handling specific types of inquiries. So, billing issues, technical support, and that translates to faster response times, more accurate answers, happier customers.
Now, that's something any investor can appreciate.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got increased efficiency, lower development costs, the potential for some, serious performance gains. What's the catch?
Well, I mean, one challenge is that this technology, it still relies on having those pre-trained expert modules. So if a completely new task emerges that requires completely different knowledge, you would need to develop a new expert module for that.
So it's not a completely self-sufficient system.
Yeah, right.
But it's a huge step towards building much more adaptable and efficient LLMs.
Absolutely. And the research team at Sakana AI, they're already exploring ways to make these systems even more flexible, even capable of continuous learning.
Okay, so there's still room for improvement,
Yeah.
which means there's also room for investors like you to get in on the ground floor of a potentially game-changing technology. Let's dig a little deeper. How does this Transformer Squared framework actually work?
All right, so one of the key pieces here is what they call the dispatch system. It's like a conductor in an orchestra deciding which expert modules to activate for a specific task. The paper outlines 3 main strategies for this.
Okay, let's break down those strategies. I'm all ears.
All right, so the first strategy is called prompt engineering. Essentially, the model analyzes the input prompt. So that's, the question or the request. And it tries to classify it into one of several predefined categories.
Okay.
So if the prompt is about math, it might activate the math expert module.
Seems straightforward enough. I imagine there are limitations to that, though.
Yeah, you're right. This approach can be pretty basic and might struggle with more complex or ambiguous tasks. That's where the second strategy comes in, using a specialized classification expert.
Okay, so another expert module specifically for figuring out which expert module to use.
Precisely. Yeah. So it's a dedicated model also trained with SVF. That's like It's like a master delegator.
Hmm.
It has a deeper understanding of various tasks and can make more accurate dispatch decisions, which leads to better performance.
I like it. Efficiency on top of efficiency.
Yeah.
What's the third strategy?
All right, so this one is particularly interesting. They call it the few-shot adaptation approach.
Yeah.
And imagine being able to create a brand new expert module on the fly, tailored to a specific task without any additional training.
That sounds incredibly powerful. How is that even possible?
So it analyzes a small set of examples from the target task, right? And then it combines the existing expert modules in a specific way to create a new, highly specialized expert.
Okay, so it's not just selecting a pre-trained expert. It's like dynamically creating a new one based on the task at hand.
Exactly. This approach showcases the true potential of self-adaptation in LLMs. They use a clever optimization technique called the cross-entropy method to find the optimal combination of existing experts for the new task.
Okay, this is where my brain starts to melt a little bit, but the bottom line is that this few-shot adaptation strategy allows the LLM to tackle new challenges without the need for massive retraining.
You got it. And that's what makes Transformer so revolutionary. It's a glimpse into the future of LLMs where these models can continuously learn and adapt, becoming more powerful and versatile over time.
And that's why you, as angel investors, should be paying close attention. This technology has the potential to disrupt entire industries, create entirely new markets. We'll be back after a short break to dive into the specific applications of Transformer and why this is a golden opportunity for savvy investors.
So welcome back to our deep dive into Transformer and singular value fine-tuning. Before the break, we were talking about how this technology makes LLMs more adaptable and efficient. Now let's shift gears a little bit and explore how it can be applied in specific industries, starting with one that's always on the lookout for an edge.
Finance, perfect example. It's all about analyzing data, making predictions, mitigating risks. How can Transformer shake things up in this world?
Imagine a world where financial firms, they don't need to build separate LLMs for every single task. They could have a core LLM powered by Transformer and then use SVF to create these expert modules for specific needs.
Give me a concrete example.
Okay, let's say you're an investment firm and you're looking to analyze market trends and identify promising stocks. You could have an expert module for analyzing news sentiment, another one for crunching financial data, and yet another one for predicting market volatility. Then using Transformer, you can combine those experts dynamically to get like a really comprehensive view of the market.
Okay, so instead of hiring a team of human analysts, each with their own specialization, you could have a team of AI experts working 24/7, crunching data, identifying opportunities.
Precisely. And because these expert modules are trained with SVF, they can adapt quickly to new information. Let's say a major geopolitical event happens, right? That shakes up the market. With traditional LLMs, you'd need to retrain the entire model on this new data. But with Transformer, you could simply fine-tune the relevant expert modules, saving time and resources.
Okay, that kind of agility is a game changer in a fast-paced world like finance. But let's move beyond the world of numbers. What about an industry like healthcare, where human expertise is still paramount?
Yeah, I mean, healthcare is it's ripe for disruption, and Transformer can be applied here to analyze patient data, assist with diagnosis, and even personalize treatment plans.
That sounds amazing, but also a bit daunting. We're talking about people's health here. How can we trust an AI to make those kinds of decisions?
Well, that's where the efficiency of SVF comes into play. Imagine training an expert module on a specific type of cancer using a data set of thousands of patient records, right? And the latest medical research. This module could then assist doctors in making more accurate diagnoses, tailoring treatments to individual patients.
Okay, so it's not about replacing doctors. It's about giving them an incredibly powerful tool that can analyze vast amounts of data and help them make better decisions.
Exactly. And because this module can be updated quickly with new research and data, it ensures that doctors are always working with the most up-to-date information. So this is personalized medicine taken to the next level.
I'm starting to see how this technology can be applied across so many different fields. What about education? Could Transformer personalize learning experiences for students?
Absolutely. Imagine an AI tutor that can adapt to each student's individual learning style and pace. It could identify areas where a student is struggling, provide targeted support, all while, adjusting the difficulty level of the exercises to keep them engaged.
It's like having a private tutor for every student without the high cost.
And this AI tutor wouldn't be limited to just one subject. You could have expert modules for math, science, history, language, and more, all integrated into a single platform. The possibilities are, they're pretty much endless.
It sounds like Transformer could democratize access to high-quality education, regardless of a student's background or resources.
That's the potential we're talking about. And it's not just, limited to traditional education. Think about corporate training, professional development, even learning a new hobby. Transformer could make learning more accessible and engaging for everyone.
Okay, so we've got finance, healthcare, education. Are there any other industries that are particularly ripe for disruption by this technology?
Well, any industry that relies on analyzing information, making predictions, or adapting a change could benefit, really. Take customer service, for example. Transformer could, power a new generation of chatbots that are more intelligent, more empathetic, and capable of handling more complex requests.
So instead of getting stuck in those frustrating chatbot loops, we
Mhm.
could have like truly helpful AI assistants that can understand our needs and provide personalized solutions.
Exactly. And this applies to other industries as well. Imagine AI-powered legal assistants that can, sift through mountains of legal documents and provide insights to lawyers, or AI-driven marketing platforms that can personalize campaigns based on individual customer preferences. Transformer is a foundational technology that can be applied in so many creative ways.
So for our listeners who are angel investors, what's the key takeaway here? Why should they be paying attention to Transformer and SVF?
Well, this technology has the potential to create entirely new markets and disrupt existing ones. It's about efficiency, adaptability, and creating AI systems that can continuously learn and improve.
It's about investing in the future of intelligent systems.
Precisely. And for those who recognize the potential early on, the rewards could be substantial.
All right, so we've covered the potential applications of Transformer across a range of industries. But, with great power comes great responsibility, right? Let's talk about the ethical considerations, the potential risks associated with this technology.
That's an important point. As with any powerful technology, we need to be mindful of how it's developed and deployed.
What are some of the key concerns?
Well, one concern is ensuring that these AI systems are used fairly and ethically. We need to be careful about the data we use to train them, make sure that we're not perpetuating existing biases.
So if an AI system is trained on biased data, it could potentially make biased decisions, even if it's not, explicitly programmed to do so.
Exactly. We also need to think about transparency and accountability. As these systems become more complex and autonomous, it's important that we understand how they're making decisions and who is responsible if something goes wrong.
These are all valid concerns, and it's clear that we need to have like a thoughtful conversation about the ethical implications of AI as it becomes more powerful and pervasive in our lives.
Absolutely. And to Sakana AI's credit, they are aware of these challenges and are actively working on, developing techniques for mitigating bias, ensuring transparency, and building safeguards into their systems.
That's reassuring to hear. It sounds like they're taking a responsible approach to developing this technology.
They recognize that AI has the potential to be, an incredible force for good in the world, but it's up to us to ensure that it's used ethically and responsibly.
We'll delve deeper into these ethical considerations and potential societal impact of Transformer in our next segment.
Welcome back to the deep dive. We've been exploring this groundbreaking research on self-adaptive LLMs, focusing on this really exciting technology called Singular Value Fine-Tuning, SVF, and its potential to revolutionize how we develop and use AI. But before we wrap up, we need to talk about the elephant in the room, the ethical considerations and potential risks that come with such powerful technology.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. As with any tool, especially one as powerful as AI, we need to think about how it can be used responsibly and what safeguards we need to have in place.
We touched on a few concerns before, like bias in AI systems. Can you elaborate on that a little bit? Sure. So imagine you're training an LLM to help with, let's say, hiring decisions. You feed it a data set of resumes and past hiring outcomes, right? Now, if that data set reflects existing biases in the hiring process, let's say, unconsciously favoring certain demographics, the AI system could learn and perpetuate those biases. Even if it's not explicitly programmed to discriminate, it might still make biased recommendations based on the data it was trained on.
So garbage in, garbage out, as they say.
Yeah.
It highlights how important it is to have, diverse teams of developers and really carefully curate the data used to train these systems.
Exactly. Diversity in development teams helps ensure that different perspectives and potential biases are considered. And when it comes to data, we need to, we need to actively work to identify and mitigate biases, potentially even, oversampling underrepresented groups to counterbalance historical inequalities.
Beyond bias, what are some other ethical considerations we need to keep in mind?
Well, transparency and explainability are really critical. As AI systems become more complex, we need to be able to understand how they arrive at their decisions. This is especially important when those decisions have real-world consequences, like in healthcare or finance or legal contexts.
So it's not enough for an AI to just give a recommendation. We need to be able to understand the reasoning behind it, to know that it's based on sound logic and not on some hidden bias or error in the data.
Exactly. And there's ongoing research, into developing techniques that allow us to kind of look under the hood of these AI systems and understand how they're processing information and making decisions. This is going to be crucial for building trust in AI and ensuring that it's used responsibly.
What about control and accountability? As AI systems become more autonomous and capable of making decisions on their own, how do we ensure that humans remain in control?
Yeah, that's a big one. And there's no easy answer. Some experts advocate for hard-coded ethical guidelines that AI systems must adhere to no matter what. Others believe we need to focus on developing AI that can learn and adapt its understanding of ethics over time.
So kind of like teaching an AI to develop its own moral compass
Mm.
based on human values and principles.
Exactly. But even then, there's the question of who gets to define those values and principles,
so
right? These are complex philosophical issues that we as a society need to grapple with as AI becomes more integrated into our lives.
It's a lot to think about, but these conversations are crucial. We can't just blindly embrace new technology without considering the potential consequences.
Absolutely. And to be fair, many developers and researchers in the AI field they're acutely aware of these ethical implications. Companies like Sakana AI are, actively working to build safeguards into their systems,
Yeah.
focusing on transparency, accountability, and human oversight.
So it's not a case of, AI versus humanity. It's about humans and AI working together, using this technology responsibly to solve problems and create a better future.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
The potential of AI to benefit society is immense, but we need to approach its development with a sense of responsibility, a commitment to ethical principles,
Oh,
and a willingness to engage in open and honest dialogue about the challenges ahead.
well said. For our listeners out there, especially those angel investors, the takeaway is this. AI is evolving rapidly, and technologies like SVF and Transformer, they have the potential to be game changers. But investing in AI means more than just looking at the bottom line. It means investing in a future where AI is developed and used ethically, responsibly, and for the benefit of all.
Remember, technology is a tool. It's up to us to decide how we use it.
That's a great note to end on. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into the world of self-adaptive LLMs. We hope you found it insightful and thought-provoking.
Until next time, keep asking those tough questions and stay curious.